Hello, welcome again to MetaHuman, Brett, Bengo, boom. And today, what exactly will we call today's talk?
Today's talk is going to be about training for shreddedness.
Six pack,
Talking about that 8-pack life, you know.
8-pack
that
life.
Shredded life.
Yeah, 8-pack, you know. I guess what we could start off the conversation with is when we're speaking about, training to get ripped. It starts at weight training.
You can't deny it.
You can't deny it. I mean, it's probably, if you're in the right circles, the saying that, cardio doesn't get you ripped is probably a cliche, but we still need to say it. A lot of people out there still thinking, okay, well, you go to the gym and you see a lot of these heavyweight people, they're just walking on the treadmill thinking they just have to clock in steps.
Yeah, to clock in steps. And it's probably a good thing you brought up that, because recently there was a little kind of Twitter, IG thing, rant I started with the cardio. And it's not that I'm anti-cardio. And I just kind of want people to know I'm not anti-cardio. It's just that it is not the most effective way to get ripped.
Yeah.
Came down to the point where people were saying, oh, you couldn't get like that without using cardio. Like, how are you going to tell me what I did?
Yeah.
So if it is, you look at the aesthetic physiques you have out there, you have Jeff C, Alan Gabby, what's your boy name?
Frank Zane, Golden
Frank Zane. Yeah. These guys are all lifting.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're all lifting is that is the most effective way, coupled with
everything. It seemed like last video. You need nutrition
on point.
Yeah, you need your weights.
You need your weights.
Yeah.
That resistance training, that hypertrophy work.
Hypertrophy training, yeah. I guess one of the things too about probably why we'd say that weight training is so important is that muscle tissue, that muscle tissue itself. It burns more. It requires more calories.
Yeah.
It requires more energy than just regular fat tissue.
Yeah.
And one of the things, just to reiterate to the viewers that we spoke about last week too, is if it is you put more calories in than you're burning to your body, then you're gonna get fat.
You're gonna get bigger.
You're gonna get bigger.
And increase in mass.
Yes. And if it is you're burning more calories than you're getting, then you're gonna get smaller. And so that's where I guess where that weight training will help you get ripped, because as you're bringing in calories, the same level of calories.
Yeah.
If it is now your body is burning more calories because of more muscle tissue, it's gonna help you bring that down. Lose your body while still keeping that muscle mass. Not to say you're losing everything. Keeps that muscle mass.
Yeah, and it goes to show where if it is you do these cardio machines and you see they show the amount of calories burnt, it's very demotivating. You can eat a chocolate bar and you have
true.
100, 200 calories, and then you go and you work and sweat your ass off, and then you only burn that.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is increase your metabolic rate so that you're burning those extra calories as you sleep, as your body is repairing itself, as it's building muscle. And I was reading up on it over the weekend, and I'm trying to remember the site so I could give them the props for it.
Yeah.
But I can't remember, one of the guys was saying is that think of it like muscle is alive because it's moving all the time.
Yeah.
So it requires energy, it requires being rebuilt. Fat is not really moving.
That's an interesting point though.
Doing anything.
I never thought about that, but it's true.
Fat
you don't tense your fat.
You don't tense your fat. Your fat doesn't move you from here to there.
Yeah.
So it's just there. You don't have to do anything to maintain your fat. It's just there.
Yeah.
So it's not using any energy, whereas muscles are using energy. So the more muscle you have, the more energy you have.
Yeah.
A and B is that when it is you break down muscle tissue and it has to repair itself, it's expensive for your body to do.
Yeah, it is.
It requires energy to do this, to carry the proteins across, to synthesize the proteins, to build it, to convert the food that you had into something that is moving and
into energy.
It requires energy.
And that makes sense when you talk about that breakdown, because they always talk about, well, you should do weight training because when it is you do weight training for fat burning, obviously, you're also burning fat after
Yeah.
you weight train. Like, you're actually burning fat
For like
after. For
24,
days and
36
days.
hours.
Yeah, they call
Yeah,
numbers.
yeah.
But I think that's the simple nature of it, is that you've broken down your muscles, and in order to repair your muscles,
Yeah.
your body needs energy.
Yeah, it needs energy.
Your body needs energy. So it's not just to say, well, okay guys, your body saying, okay guys, well, we worked out yesterday, let's just start to break fat down.
Yeah.
It's no, guys, we need to repair this muscle, we need to repair this quads, this hamstrings, this glutes. We need energy to do this.
About to glutes.
About to glutes,
Yeah.
and then they start to break down the thing. So I think that brings me to the next point, which is interesting, is that if that is true, but it is, then we would say, okay, the more efficient in terms of fat burning type of weight training would be hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy work.
Because you want to get that muscle damage.
Yeah.
Because it's when that muscle is repairing itself, is when it requires all that energy. It's when it is that you're sleeping, your body is still trying to repair.
Exactly. You want to get that hypertrophy working. You want to get your muscles to have to repair itself, to have to say, okay, so I'm going to grow.
Yeah.
And I think immediately we need to stop and just make a point in that a lot of people say, yeah, well, I just want to stay the size.
Yeah.
I don't want to get big. It's pretty hard to get big and buff.
Yes. That is something that we need to just say it again.
Yeah, it's
say
pretty
it again.
hard to get big and buff. I mean, people think, just because when you see somebody who's big and buff in the gym,
it didn't happen overnight.
It didn't happen overnight. Maybe they've been genetically inclined to like that, or B, they've put in a lot of hard work, and it doesn't happen overnight. So if it is you who say, well, I want to reach this size, but if I lift weights, I'm going to look like that. The thing is that you don't wake up from here to there, is that you're growing hair. And you can measure yourself. You can
and then
watch
at
yourself in the
some
mirror.
point you say, okay, well, because it is possible you could get too big.
Yeah.
But as I said, because you don't wake up realizing you're too big, you say, okay, well, I'm getting too big. Let me just alter my training and drop down my volume or drop down my... it's simple,
Or watch your macros.
Or you watch your macros.
If it is you're not eating to put on size, you're not going to put on size.
Same thing we were saying.
Yeah.
Calories in.
Increase in mass.
Increase in mass.
Calories decrease. Decrease in mass. Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's true, that hypertrophy. Because I mean, when you say hypertrophy, people will get nervous and say, well, yeah, exactly, I don't want to get too big.
Yeah, I don't want to get too big.
No, I'm trying to lose weight. I don't want to get big.
But you need to do hypertrophy.
You need to do hypertrophy to get, and this is something now, because I was talking to a friend of mine, and, she was talking about her thighs. She's doing weight for her thighs. And she finds that she wants to lose weight on her thighs. I was like, okay, well, listen, you need to start with the weights. And so she went and she was doing some squats, and then she was nervous because day after,
squats got a pump.
Her legs, and her was pumped, and her legs were sore, and she was saying, no, she can't do that because then they would just get even bigger.
Yeah.
I said, no, if it is that the muscle starts to work and your body starts to,
and you're gonna drop.
That body fat, and you don't need to worry about the muscle, because the thing, the one thing people realize is, say for instance, I'll just use that thigh as an example. Say for instance your thigh is about that big, and this person is not exercising, so that's fat, right? They start to lift weights, they start to go hypertrophy. Muscle underneath is not just gonna exponentially grow, and the fat is gonna stay, and the legs is gonna get bigger.
Exactly.
The muscle is gonna grow, and it's gonna start to metabolize the fat, and your legs is more or less going to even stay the same size, but the shape is going to change. It may even drop some size.
Yeah, you may go down upon size.
Yeah, but the shape changes. Because it's the muscle under there, and it kind of maybe I went on a bit on a tangent there, but it goes back to what you were saying, that your thigh, your muscle, it can't get that big that easy.
Yeah.
The mere fact that there's an entire industry about supplements and their competitions, and their, Arnold Classic just came out. The fact that there are competitions, it shows that
dedicate their days.
They dedicate their lives. It shows that this is not a blink in the eye.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go and do a couple of bench press and then just walk out to the
exactly.
Yeah. And also on that, I mean, it might be tangential as well. However, I think, especially for the listeners, that we're gonna hear us using the terms frequency, intensity, and volume
Yeah.
Just a brief explanation of what it is. Frequency is how regular you hit a muscle throughout the course of the week.
Yeah. Number of
workouts. Intensity is a percentage of your 1 RM, your 1 repetition maximum.
How heavy?
So like if it is, you're talking about a 70% intensity, you're talking about 70% of your 1 repetition maximum, the most you can lift in that exercise for 1 rep. And the volume is the amount of repetitions you get
in that same workout.
In that workout.
So those are the 3 main things: volume, frequency, and intensity.
Yeah. And by manipulating these factors, is you can decide whether or not you want to focus solely on hypertrophy, you want to focus only on strength. Because even though they're related, they're different, huh?
Yeah.
They're different.
And the body needs, I would say, a few of them. You can't only hit intensity and expect to get better.
Yeah.
You can't only hit volume. You know, you need to hit them at different things. What you're doing will require a different ratio. It's like your macros. You have your fats, your proteins, your carbs.
Yeah, 3 seems to be a nice number when it comes to fitness.
You need all 3, but it's what you are going for.
Yes.
What ratio you're working for will determine your body composition.
Yeah.
Similar with your weight training.
Yeah.
What you're going for will determine which one you hit hardest. Your intensity, your frequency,
or your volume. Yeah.
So I mean, those 3 is what it is you want. And if it is that you're looking at losing fat, like your objective.
Yeah,
you want to get stronger. Your objective is to lose fat.
Yeah.
Frequency and volume. Yeah. Frequency and volume.
Frequency and volume.
Those are the 2 ones you want to because of the hypertrophy.
Yeah.
Because of that muscle breakdown.
Yeah, exactly. And now you don't want to drop your intensity too low.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say 70 to 60% close. Now
otherwise they get into cardio.
Otherwise they get into cardio. Even though, I mean, there have been some recent studies showing that people have been able to gain even on lower intensities, but then you're looking at newbie gains, noob gains, so you're not sure how.
Yeah, after a while that will plateau.
Yeah, that's going to plateau. And also, when it is we're talking about looking at about 60 to 70%, 80% intensity, that's not saying that you can't get hypertrophy by high
intensity. And if it is you're looking for fat burning, like that is what you want, fat burning. Like macros, you keep all them at a certain level, but you really focus on your frequency and your volume.
Yeah, yes. And the reason why, and some guys, and I mean, I'm doing powerlifting training right now.
Yeah.
And just like powerlifters, you have this biasness that intensity is good. Because you want to just hit that rail.
Yeah, you want rep,
The fact of the matter though is that those other two are very important. It's the frequency and your volume.
Yeah.
That's not saying that you can't hit high volume and high frequency on high intensity, but the length of time that you're gonna have to spend in the weight room.
Yeah.
So like let's suppose that on Teenage Son, these guys, I think it was CT, had mentioned that there's a 50 rep. It's like the magic number for hypertrophy. If it is, you look at Prelipin's principle, which is the Bible for strength
training. Yeah.
You're looking at the
strength reps.
For strength reps, you're looking at like 15 and 30 repetitions, so that you're gonna have to add a lot of accessory exercises after, and you're gonna have a longer recovery time. So the practical approach, so if it is you just wanna the most effective, efficient way to get ripped, you're gonna have to chase those extra reps.
Yeah, you need that.
So you need that. So you're probably looking at a relatively low intensity. You're looking at an 80% or 70% intensity.
Yeah.
60% intensity, and so that you can really amp up your volume and your frequency, so that you're hitting that 50 reps, getting those splits in, so that you can be in the gym more often.
And even allowing the half rep.
And allowing the half rep, and not coasting on the half rep.
Not coasting, because I mean, it's, as I said, like it's what you want. You want that muscle breakdown.
Yeah.
So you allow that.
Yeah, allow the partials.
Yeah,
don't go form police and say, oh. Yeah.
If you're going for strength and your intensity, yes. Yeah. But talking about this video is just about getting ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I probably want to take it conversation a bit now too is indirectly how it helps. How it helps you get weight training. Because one of the things that gets people to put on weight, that gets people fat, stress. Now, stress is naturally occurring.
Mm-hmm.
We need, it happens.
Yeah.
But naturally, we evolved when we get stressed. It's fight or flight.
Yeah.
We need to move, right? And so what happens is when when we get stressed, our body naturally is seeking. We look for food. We look for carbs. Our muscles need. How to put it? Our muscles need that glycogen.
Yeah.
So, so if you do research, you realize that people, when they get stressed, they don't feel that craving for protein.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really feel that craving much for fats.
They want that sugar.
They want that sugar.
Yeah.
It's because your body...
It's comforting to it.
It's comforting, yeah. But your body naturally is attracted to food that will help you fight or flight.
Okay.
Carbs,
readily
available energy.
Yeah.
That's what your body wants. That's stress. And so what happens is that with strength training, with hypertrophy, with going on in the gym, resistance training, you start to train your body to handle stress.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing that people don't realize. Physical stress and mental stress, your body reacts the same way.
Yes. Yeah. Very true.
Plain and simple. Physical and mental, it's the same response of your body. It's exactly the same.
Well, I mean, you could take it back to evolution. The first type of stress we had was physical stress.
It's only physical, yeah.
And your body just kind of like assigns it now to mental.
Yeah. And so when it is you put your body now under stress, physical stress, and building up. Remember, you're not going into the gym to kill yourself that you can't go in the next day.
Yeah.
That's too much stress. Your body's gonna go into shock, whatever. You start to build up. That stress, resilience, tolerance. When it is you have mental stress now, stress at work, stress in life, family, whatever, your body is able to deal with that stress better.
Yes.
So that you're not going to rush for food.
Yeah.
You're not going to rush for comfort, And so you're able to then handle life's issues better.
Yeah.
And so it's not directly helping you burn fat, but it's taking you along a path, a lifestyle path that's going to help you not put on as much fat, Because when it is you can handle that stress better, you're able then to limit, as we said before, that calories in.
Yeah.
You don't need to throw that calories in as much.
Yeah. And as a tangent on that, as you mentioned, with stress, and just to kill one of these bro science things that they talk about, where they say workout should only be 45 minutes because your stress hormone. Stress is not bad. Working out is stress. You're stressing your system.
You're stressing your system.
What is bad is sustained stress. So like if it is, they say, well, okay, after 45 minutes, I don't know, your body probably has a clock, whatever.
Yeah.
Or after a certain period, you have cortisol, which is the stress hormone, and it starts to be elevated. This is not a bad thing. It is a bad thing if you have consistently elevated cortisol. Your blood pressure during a heavy deadlift is increased.
Yeah.
If it is you have chronically elevated blood pressure throughout the entire day, then it's bad.
Yeah.
So that momentary stress is good, because when you give your body momentary stress and you pull it away, your body can recover, so it can better handle that stress.
It learns to adapt.
Whereas constant stress is bad. So like if it is, they say, well, cortisol there's no problem.
Yeah, it's no problem with
if
cortisol.
you have cortisol and you're working and you're training on cortisol, because you're going to take a rest. You're not spending 24 hours in the gym. At some point you're going to take a break, you're going to come, you're going to take a sleep, you're going to take a nice cold shower, you come down, and then your body adapts to that, so that when you go back in your session you can handle it better. So temporary stress is good. Temporary stress is good.
Another indirect way that I find the resistance training helps is, and it's interesting, it goes on the opposite side, but we talk about from yoga, you talk about your chakras, your energy centers. Now you have 7 energy centers in your body, and your root chakra, the base, that is the chakra that deals with survival, with security, and it's also the chakra that is related to your body, the physical sense of your body, your body in space, your body in motion. And when that chakra is weak or it's blocked or it's unbalanced, you yearn for comfort.
Okay.
Because you don't feel secure, you don't have that sense of survival, you yearn for comfort. And a lot of us now, with society and naturally, that comfort comes in the form of food.
Yeah.
So when it is that you can't, you don't feel your root chakra is not open, you want that food. And so it's like, for instance, at the end of the day, when you sit back and you want to watch TV, you want to just snack on something, you don't want to just eat, and it's that constant eating. It's not that you're really that hungry. It's a sort of comfort.
Yeah.
It's a sort of comfort food that, it's survival. And how I've realized, and this is through personal experience too, is how resistance training helps that. And interestingly, particularly isolations and hypertrophy work.
Okay.
Because when it is you're doing your hypertrophy, right, and you're doing your isolation work, you really have to get into that muscle.
Yeah.
And that muscle starts to feel, that muscle starts to pump. I call it Francie,
yeah,
when you meditate
chasing
on
that pump.
Chasing that pump.
Yeah.
And so,
and
so what happens is, you remember, when you do the isolations, you do it per body part. So you do isolations on your calves, you do calf raises, then you do leg extensions, or you do certain types of squats, you do hamstring curls. And so what happens is, when you isolate the muscles, you feel it.
Yeah.
You mentally get that connection to it.
Yeah.
You mentally learn your body. You mentally feel your body. And so what happens is, like, after that training now, and you're walking, and this is literally like when you're walking out the gym, your legs feel sore.
Yeah.
Your arms feel sore, your back feels sore, wherever you worked feels sore.
Yeah.
But the key there is that you feel that muscle.
Yeah, them DOMs is kicking.
Yeah, you feel it. And so, like, when you're walking, you're aware of your calves. You're aware of your hamstrings, you're aware of your quads. This is stuff that you weren't aware of before. And so, remember, I was talking about the root chakra, it deals with your body awareness.
Okay, yeah.
So that's what happens. So that when you're walking out the gym, and you're aware of your calves, you're like, oh, my calves hurts, oh, this and that. It keeps reminding you almost with every step.
Yeah.
It keeps reminding you of your body. It keeps reminding you, hey, this is your body.
Yeah.
This is how you feel. This is how you walk. This is you.
Yeah, you have a sense of.
You have your sense of your body, a
self.
sense of your physical self.
Yeah.
And so, when that happens, your root chakra gets open.
Okay.
You feel more comfortable in yourself. You feel more open. You feel, this is me.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you no longer, or the need for comfort food decreases.
Okay. Yeah.
Because what happens is that you're already aware. You feel secure, as in your body. You're aware of your body. You feel secure. That desire for comfort, that yearn to just comfort. And it's not saying that you don't want to be comfortable, but that desire that you just have to feel comfortable. You can't feel any sort of discomfort. When you start to do the isolations and you start to feel different parts of your body.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, and exactly as you said with DOMs, you feel different parts of your body throughout the next day.
Yeah.
So every time you move throughout the next day, no matter what is in your mind, no matter what you're thinking about, stressing about, you get up and you walk to the bathroom. You remember your calves, you remember your quads, you remember your hamstrings, and you feel it with every step. It's strange it sounds. And so, like, with every movement,
you're constantly reminded.
You're constantly reminded of your physical self. You're constantly reconnected back.
Yeah.
And what that does is it keeps opening up. It keeps opening up your chakras, your root chakra in particular, and it's indirect in that, as I said before, it's not gonna just help you lose weight, but it's gonna help you to stop wanting to eat that comfort food.
And you have more control over yourself.
You have more control, and then also the more that root chakra is open, is the more you also want to go back and feel it.
Yeah.
So it makes you want to go back and work out. It makes you want to say, well, I'm sore, but I'm feeling it. I feel my body. I like how this feels.
Yeah, you like how it feels, and you also like how it looks. And you see, when it is, you start to see them. Nothing is more motivational than seeing them gains.
Yeah, it's true.
Once you start to see them gains, like, you can be like, oh, I don't have discipline to diet. And then you start to see them gains, and all of a sudden, discipline is not a factor.
Yeah.
Motivation is not a factor. You just want. You start to chase those gains.
Yeah.
And then you realize that you want to eat food. You start to want to, I have to clock my protein numbers for the day.
Yeah. You want to make sure you
want
get
to do it.
gains.
So it's not like a hassle, which is Which is funny because people say, oh, you must be real disciplined, boy, to be on your macros.
Yeah.
It's not about discipline, it's that you just want them gains so bad.
Yeah.
So it's like a game. You don't have to be disciplined to, if you're playing a game, you're playing Arkham or something, and you're trying to beat the joke. You're not disciplined in trying to beat them, you want to beat them. And it's the same thing with your macros. And you start to gamify
when you start to feel...
And you start to see the gains coming in. You just want more gains. And you start to do all sorts of stuff. You start to go to the gym more regularly. You start to realize you're starting to put in more hours in the gym. You get addicted to it.
And this is
Progress is addictive.
It is.
Yeah.
And this is the last point which I found is interesting. Is building on what you're saying there about progress is... Let's take an overweight guy.
Yeah.
So he just like the video, he's trying to get shredded, he's trying to lose weight, he's trying to lose fat. That same guy can have a more motivating workout in the gym doing weights than he can have doing cardio.
Yes.
Let me explain that. Because this guy, he's overweight. He's gonna go on a treadmill or go and walk outside and it's gonna break him down.
He's gonna feel demotivated.
He's gonna feel demotivated that he came out to walk and he's seeing this little fit girl run and she's like a gazelle running and he's
she's
there.
lapping him on your
She's lapping and he's trudging or he's sweating and and that while it's good to move, that breaks him down. That then, because it's so demotivating, requires him to have that extra discipline, to have that motivation to go beyond how it feels, because it doesn't feel good.
Exactly.
And even for me, for instance, as someone who I consider myself fairly fit, whenever I go and I've lost a fitness, like I go for a run or go for a sprint, and I don't feel like I know my fitness levels dropped, it's very demotivating. And so I can only imagine someone this is new to him, how demotivating it is. But then on the other hand, if you go to a gym, alright, and we're talking once again about isolations and hypertrophy, and say for instance you're doing pull downs for your tries, you can put that weight as light as you can feel it. You can do heavy, don't try and do heavy and you can't do it and you're gonna get it. If you can put that weight up light and you can feel it and it will feel good, and then when you can't do anymore, then you find the next exercise. And so
you just chase that pump.
Just chase it. And so what happens is that feel good, that feel good factor, those endorphins are much easier to come by with hypertrophy training, with isolation
and
training.
then I mean you get in that pump in the gym and you're looking, you have the mirror right there, it's continuously reinforcing and motivating you. And then your weight start to go up, you start off doing this more weight, and the next couple of weeks you realize your weights are going up, you can increase your intensity.
And the benefit I think about it too is, like for instance, we go back to that cardio, you go for running. That's your heart rate, and your body, your muscles get tired. When you're talking about weight training, when one muscle gets tired, you can switch.
Do another muscle.
If it is you completely worked out, maxed out your body. And we're talking about an overweight guy who he's new to training, but then go and do some like extensions, go and do some like curls, like you can do stuff that will keep your heart rated, keep your heart racing, keep you feeling good, help you burn fat, but motivating, motivating. Whereas for someone who's overweight now, when you now jump on and you're overweight and you want to say, okay, well, I need to go and walk in the gym, every time you go and you try and do it, it's gonna help, but the road is so far, it requires so much more internal strength and internal fortitude for you to get there. And the reality is, it's not needed. You
don't need it.
The easier ways, as you now say, the easier ways. So I guess, what you're saying.
It's just.
So I guess to wrap up those things, like you're saying, we're saying that strength, I wouldn't really call it strength training, we call it resistance training. We're not talking about powerlifting. Hypertrophy work in the weights is excellent for fat burning for a number of reasons. First, we talk about muscle tissue requires more energy.
Because it's actually doing something.
It's actually doing something that's just sitting there. So you're going to be burning more energy. Two, with hypertrophy work, you're breaking down the muscles And to actually repair the muscles, you're going to require
Yeah, it
energy
needs
again.
energy to do that.
So that's two things you use some
Synthesize
more
the
energy.
protein to carry it, yeah.
You know. Two, we spoke about how it trains your body and it trains your mindset to deal with stress. So that when you're dealing with stress on an everyday basis, you can handle it better. And stress indirectly nearly all the times leads to weight gain.
Constant stress.
Constant stress, yeah, not immediate. A constant level of stress. Then we spoke about your root chakra.
Yeah.
You know, that when it is you start to do that and start to feel your body and understand your body, that desire for comfort eating is going to go out the window.
And it's amazing how like people just talk different languages.
But it's the same thing, you know.
We're talking about chakra, we're talking about gains or different languages.
It's true. And then the last point is, as we're now saying it's for someone who's overweight now starting to work out, they can get a more motivating workout using weights than if they were to go and try and do cardio.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, if someone is overweight, they're not cardiovascularly fit.
Exactly.
They can't, they're going to get
and then
tired.
you might have
Knee problems
and then
because
you're
of
gonna
impact.
stressed out in your knees and-
So if it is that you're looking to shred, you're looking to lose weight,
you bow them aesthetics.
Bow those aesthetics.
Bow them aesthetics.
get pumping, get some hypertrophy work in, and check out MetaHuman.
Boom.